Told you he'd be here.
He's my angel!
Hello? Hello! Hi everybody, welcome to WasabiCon 2018. How's it going? My name is Briner.
I have two questions. The first question is Red Lobster in Endless Trip back?
As always. And my are back, baby.
And my second question is, there's this thing called Villain AU. Shout out to the Villain Deku cosplayers.
Yeah!
Right.
If Deku became a real villain, what would his voice sound like? And since Bakugo said you can't be a hero because you have no quirk, what would Izuku say back to Bakugo?
Yeah. Hey, fam.
This is loaded, right? The Villain AU. People ask me this, I swear, every panel, and then I say, will someone please explain this to me at another point in time? And no one has. So what the gist of it from what I understand is that in the momentous time when he met All Might said, "Get out of here, kid. Get the heck out of here." And that breaks poor little Izuku's heart. So if Kachan said that to Izuku, I imagine he would respond with, haha, you suck!
Next. Here we go. Right there.
Oh my gosh, okay. Hello!
Hi!
Alright, so, can someone without a quirk ever dream of becoming a hero like you?
Now see, take notes, All Might. Yes, you can!
Pass that down. Oh gosh, oh jeez, oh jeez.
Hello. So I just had a question. So did you I want to know since you're the voice of Izuku, you're clearly into anime and such. I would like to know what is your favorite anime? Because it might not be Boku no Hero, or I'd like to know what's your first anime that you've seen and just how you came into anime in general.
Sure, yeah.
Good question.
So I was born in the early 90s, and that was when we started getting the first wave. You know, that's what we call the Dragon Balls and Sailor Moon and Pokemon, of course. And that was, that was on Cartoon Network at the time, and that was really awesome as a kid because we weren't given programming that was speaking to us like that. Exactly. Kids weren't trusted with those narratives for some reason. They are now in a big way. But I didn't really recognize that as anime. I thought it was just a really awesome cartoon, and I wanted to rush home from school and see what Sailor Moon and the gang are up to this time. So when I really, I think, understood what anime was and its sort of imprint on the culture, it was the Adult Swim block with Full Metal Alchemist, Samurai Champloo is one of my favorites, Cowboy Bebop, of course, is seminal. Yeah, and that sort of fostered my love of storytelling and dubbing and being able to make these stories international and share them with people. But if I had to choose, probably my favorite anime, let's say top 3, is Full Metal Brotherhood, One Piece.
Yes!
And I have very, very fond memories of Sergeant Frog.
Oh,
Yeah, the throwback. Yes. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good question. But
He said One Piece. I'm happy.
calm down, bro.
He said
I
One
hope this isn't a weird question.
Never a good start. Okay.
Do you know about any of the ships with Deku? Oh, no. And if you do you like any of them, or do you deny any of them? Support or disapprove?
What's his
So
favorite?
do I have any ships that I approve or deny? I don't deny any ships. Yeah, let's start there as a baseline. I don't, and of course I have my own personal thoughts about how I absorb the content and how the characters relate to each other, and maybe, because I'm involved with it in a certain capacity, it feels a little different. But what I really like to hear, and I was talking to someone about this in my autograph line today, was I like to hear what your favorite ships are, and I like to hear especially what the evidence of those ships are. And then, that sort of how you see the characters interacting in your mind's eye helps to enrich my understanding of the characters and the universe and everything. So basically, all the ships are canon. Yeah. I should have said that. No, I take it back.
Scoot over here. Over here.
All right. Oh, that's loud, sorry. So, could I get you to do a Florida smash?
Would you all like to do it with me?
Yeah!
Yeah, let's charge it up. 3, 2, 1, Florida!
Is that what that is?
We're all dead.
Because easy
Hey,
Justin.
moves, like we're all dead.
Life other people, he names and moves.
Easy, Tigers, easy.
So he has Detroit Smash.
Aside from My Hero, which is amazing success, and we really love hearing you in there.
Detroit Smash.
How was it like working on Knights and Magic? I'm not really into mech anime, but that I just straight through.
Well, that's sort of the thing that drew me to it as well, is that I'm not really well versed in the mech genre. I really appreciate it, and I know people who swear by it, but I haven't researched enough in it. But this was a perfect nexus of like the mech sensibilities plus the fantasy environment, and that's what I've always loved growing up, is like the fantasy realms. So it was such a treat, and it was a character that I never would have expected to be cast as. So our director Anthony kind of took a shot on me and helped fill me up with the confidence that I needed to perform, and it ended up being something I'm really, really proud of. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi. When you first took on the role of Midoriya and Mikaela, what did you first think of them?
Mikaela. Mikaela was funny. Let's start there. It was just when we were starting up simuldubs. It was like right on the heels of Space Dandy and all that. And simuldubing is when I really got my start and my foot in the door with Funimation. They needed to expand their acting troupe a little bit and have people who could consistently come in no matter what time and just record. So Mikaela was my very first named anime role, and I remember being extremely, extremely nervous. But if anyone who is versed in Seraph knows, the first episode is deeply tragic and basically goes through the lives of two friends who lose each other, and that's the theme of the show. But Mika gruesomely is murdered on screen. And that's fine. I did the role. We made it through. And as I was leaving, the director, Jerry Jules, said, so your character might come back. I don't really know yet. How? What? I saw that boy, he got his arm ripped right off. And so that was interesting. Like that was the first time that really compels me to go ahead and look at the future of the characters now. So when Izuku came around, it was kind of a completely different story. I consumed all matter of media I could to figure out more about the world and the character. And at that point, we only had about an episode of the anime, but I told myself I wouldn't do it, and I went ahead and did it anyways. I read the entire manga up to the date. And I'm up to date with it now. So it's interesting to think how two very important roles to me and to a lot of people who follow my work were very different in their conception. Cool question.
Hi.
Hello.
I have two questions.
Okay.
I'm over here. So my first question is for the cast of My Hero Academia. How do you get along with like the other voice actors?
I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with most of them. Luckily this year we've been able to really travel a lot to conventions together, so I've become pretty close with Cliff Chapin. He plays Bakugo. I was able to meet for the first time in like 3 years working on this show, Todoroki. He's really awesome. That's Dave Matranga. I like to hang out with Chris Sabat when we can. He's been super cool and sort of helped get my feet on the ground in this crazy convention world of ours. And Monica Rial is just the most sweetest person in the entire universe. So
That's amazing. And my second question, out of all the animes that you voice acted for, what was your favorite and why?
I have such a hard time answering that because pretty much every role I've played has been meaningful to me in some way, whether it's I'm working with someone who's important to me or I'm working alongside cast members who are important to me. I would say that the ones that stand out, I guess, for better or for worse, would be Mika from Stare for the End. That was my very first, as I said, sort of trial by fire with dubbing. And it ended up being a really, really fun and beloved character. Izuku, of course, has, My Hero has blown up in popularity so much that now I'm able to really get out to these events and meet like-minded folks like you and get to, talk about this thing that we all really love. And I really liked being in Luluco a lot. I'm a big fan of the Trigger studio, and it was the last anime, I believe, that Chris Bevins worked on at Funimation before he moved to Los Angeles. So, and he was someone who especially early on took a lot of chances on me and like helped me flex my vocal muscles in ways that I didn't really expect. So it was really, really, that was very meaningful, yeah.
I have two questions. My first question is, out of all the openings that are so far in the series, which one's your favorite?
Out of all the what?
Out of all the openings to the series?
I think The Day will always be my favorite.
And
it sounds something like that.
The second question is, how do you start getting into voice acting for animes and stuff? How did you start getting into the voice acting role?
Okay, well, I've been doing theater pretty much my whole life. That was sort of my entrance into performing and entertaining. My parents got me into it. They did local, like, community dinner theaters and stuff, and I was, 1.5 years old, not knowing where I am or who I am in the rehearsal and stuff. So I was always part of that sort of world and that community. And as I grew up, I did more shows, I did more theater, I did stuff in high school. And I guess around college was when I really had to make some tough decisions about like, okay, so what is my focus? What is my career path as an actor, as a creative? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue. So I did a lot of my training for stage and musical theater. That was mostly what I did growing up. And luckily, that helped develop sort of vocal technique and breath control and stuff that served me very well when I got into voiceover. When I was sort of figuring out where I wanted to head, something clicked. I realized that these cartoons and these video games that really meant so much to me and gave me so much joy growing up were, real actors performing and having fun and telling stories for me. And I thought that was really awesome, so I just wanted to be a part of that world in some capacity. So that led me to voiceover. Then I went to finish up school in Texas, in the Dallas area, and some friends of mine sort of passed my information along to Funimation, and I fell in with them. And they keep calling me back for some reason. So, yeah, that's pretty much my two-pronged answer. I've been studying it my whole life. Then when I figured out I wanted to sort of be gung-ho into voiceover, I took all my training, I got some more books, took some more classes, and started to establish that vocabulary. Because I do feel that anyone who wants to be a creative in any aspect, the more you know and the more vocabulary you learn for your own personal process can only serve you, because the less you have to think about it, the better you're going to be at it.
I got 2 questions also. I was wondering, what if you are, what voice act, like, what are you gonna voice act? Are you gonna be voice acting in any new series coming up soon?
I sure hope so. No news right now, I'm sorry. I'll never make another one of those games. I wish.
And my second question is, how did it feel to play as Nico from Nanbaka?
Oh, Nico was a blast.
And like, how did it feel like switching between personalities?
I mean, I only really got to do that for 1 episode, but it was super, super fun. That was such a blast. I still go back and watch that episode every now and again because I'm pretty proud of my work in that. But Nanbaka, just as a whole, was just hysterical, like uproariously funny, and I had no idea getting into that it was so funny. So yeah, it was a character that I hadn't really done anything like that before. It was really at the top of my register, but he's so stinking cute. So it was just a joy. It was really awesome.
All right, we're coming over here. Let me remind everybody loves Justin so much, but we gotta limit it to 1 question. That way as many people as possible can ask, okay? It's not like, I have 37 questions. No, pick your best question, okay?
My question is, in My Hero Academia, if you could voice any other character, who would it be?
I'll be All Might. Yeah.
All Might.
Eat this.
Hello. Okay, so like, I just wanted to say before I ask my question that this anime connects with me like so much, and it means like so much to me, and I just want to say thank you so much for doing this. And this question has been bugging me for a little bit, but what's your favorite color?
I'm sorry, wait, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
Hi, I'm over here. Out of the scenes that you've done on My Hero Academia, what was your favorite to dub?
My favorite series to dub?
Your favorite scene in My Hero.
Oh, in a scene. I really loved the most recent episode where Kachan and Deku fight each other. It's late in season 3. No spoilers, but they basically, something compels them to take up fists. And it was just, I thought that their development during that scene and after the scene was so beautiful. Because these are real high school kids and they're growing up, and this is sort of the dissonance that exists between people who don't get along and don't want to get along and are forced to cooperate. There's going to be, it's going to be a bumpy road. So what I really love about My Hero are, in the midst of the superhuman society, there are some real, truly human elements at its core. That really struck me. All Might vowing to devote himself to Deku's training from now on was beautiful. It's okay. Thank you.
What a hero.
And especially All Might trying to convince Deku's mother to let him stay in the dorms. That really hit me. Because what's more human than a mother wanting to hold on to her child and keep him safe and young, So I thought that was really sweet.
Alright, my question is, do you have any tips for any future voice actors? What they should do?
Do you know what sort of avenue of voiceover specifically you'd like, or just the whole industry?
Just the whole aspect.
Okay, then yeah, I think the first step is to associate yourself with styles of acting and acting vocabulary. I think that you can't go wrong no matter if you want to do voiceover or if you want to be a performer in any way. I would always recommend taking a theater class or reading a theater book or something. You really can't go wrong. For voiceover specifically, I would say watch and consume media that has voices that maybe sound like you. Try to train your ears to identify people who sound like you in your similar vocal range, and how they're able to use their voices, and sort of learn from that from experience. Otherwise, yeah, it's my own personal process is consume as much media as you can, keep learning, keep studying, because the work won't always be there, but when you're called for the work, you gotta be ready for it. So.
Okay, over here, there we are.
Out of all the quirks in My Hero Academia, which one is your favorite?
I really like Providence. Because she is the best and the strongest.
Whoa. Have you been shooked that week? Robbie was shooked.
Okay, hello. And who is your favorite villain?
Spicy.
I like Stain a lot. I thought what Stain brought to and I know he's an anti-hero, but I liked what he brought to the world building of My Hero, that not everything is as black and white as the heroes would say. You know, there's heroes and there's villains, and there's bad guys and there's good guys, and we find out that's not totally true. There are people who are looking to shape justice in their own world, and the dichotomy sort of exists even between All Might and Endeavor, and they're conflicting styles of heroism. So I just thought that was a cool way to expand on the definition of a hero in the world.
Hey man.
Yeah.
So we really love One Piece, and it sounds like you really love One Piece. Woo! And so we were wondering what your favorite One Piece arc was and why.
Ah, shoot. I mean, my mind instantly blinks to Water 7, right? That was /CP9. For those who don't know that arc, it's regarded as one of the best because of all the twists and turns and character building it has. In the New World, I really did love Big Mom. I think she's the coolest and the scariest.
What are your thoughts on the Big Three in Erie?
The Big Three, what?
The Big Three in Erie.
I don't...
My Hero Academia.
I see. Yes, I love them. I'm really excited for Erie's debut. I really, I think she's precious. But the Big Three are awesome, and we've already had just a little itty bitty taste of them in season 3. But Mirio's, come on, he's the man.
Yes.
What type of people do you think are real life heroes?
One more time, please. I'm sorry.
What type of people do you think are real life heroes?
They touch on it a little bit in this series, but there's a line that has something to the effect of a hero doesn't think, a hero moves without thinking. And I don't necessarily, I don't think that is true 100% of the time. There's an argument about being too reckless. But I do think that corresponds with the definition of heroism, which is you act for things that are greater causes than yourself. You help to make a positive change in your community for a bigger reason than it benefits you. And the people that I've met in my life that are the most altruistic and the most giving of their time and patience and energy are my heroes.
Good answer.
Thank you. Gosh.
As much as none of us want it, who do you think the traitor is in My Hero Academia?
Sure, everyone's got a theory, right? I don't think it's one of the kids. I really don't.
I think it's one of the teachers.
I know a lot of people do. I feel like it's too easy. I don't know. They've been talking about boosting the security measures for the school for a long time, even before Izuku's class came in. So my theory is that it's a double agent sort of hero who they wouldn't have vet as properly to work at the school. You have a hero record, you're a great hero, come work at UA. We won't read too much into it. Whereas, I don't know, you'd have to be really, really great at espionage to fool the entire faculty of UA. And I don't know if 12-year-old has what it takes. But maybe, I mean, I'm gonna be as surprised as anyone. So, it's gonna be, I'm excited. But I'm also gonna be sad.
All the way in the back.
Hi.
Hey.
I feel like everyone's gonna hate me for asking this, but
do not hate. No.
if you know the song, can you sing "Baby Shark" in Deku's voice?
Baby shark, baby shark, baby shark.
I don't know the song.
Someone start singing.
I don't know.
Baby shark, baby shark,
All right, we're over here.
I just want to ask, you as a voice actor, what is something that you would like to see Deku go through as character development later on in the future of the show? What is something that you would like to act and portray?
That is a tough question. I would really like to see, I want to see Deku stand up to Kachan in a meaningful way. I want to see Deku stand up to him and say, I'm not going to meet you halfway this time. I want you to respect me for the hero that I am. And he's coming around to that, but he's still, you know, belligerent. And they came to understand each other a little more, but I don't think they feel like they could still cooperate even at this point. So I'd like to, you know, Kachan's a little kind of mean. So I'd like to see him get, you know, some comeuppance. A little worse than me. No, exactly.
On set, have you ever had any emotional moments while doing a scene?
Sure. I mean, generally I feel every emotion very strongly when I'm recording just about anyone. But that's sort of my personal process. That's what I bring into it. Because that really helps me. That was a big thing that took me pretty far on stage, was being able to quickly digest a script like that. So, you know, it's not perfect. It's very technical what we do still, so there's an element of I have to still be precise while I'm doing the work. But I try to follow the lead of the Japanese audio as best I can. I try to follow how the music swells and dips and everything, and just match that as best as I can. It sort of harkens back to what I said before. The less you have to think about it, the better you are doing at it. So, yeah, I mean, especially in My Hero, it's very evocative. A lot of powerful moments, especially, you know, Deku vs. Todoroki, Deku vs. anyone, has always been very touching. But, yeah, just about anything, I try my best to put myself in the shoes of the character.
So that kind of went with what I was going to ask, but I was wondering, like, where you find your inspiration for those emotional moments, if there's a life experience you've gone through, or maybe a character from another show, or, you know, where do you get that?
Sure. I feel like a trap that a lot of people put themselves in, especially starting out with anime dubbing, is that, you know, the anime tropes, the stereotypes are very, like, loud and bombastic and crazy. Whereas the reality of it is that they're telling some very mature and meaningful stories. So my approach is always treat them like a human. You know, treat them like a human or whatever. They exist in that world. They have a life in that world. What does that life look like? For Deku specifically, he's a high schooler. You know, he's a high schooler who's dealing with very real high school problems. He's dealing with struggling with his self-worth. People are telling him that he's less than, that he's inferior to what he believes he is. People are saying that he should not shoot for such lofty goals, that he should do something more realistic and not waste his time chasing after a dream that he can't achieve. And I think one way or another, everyone has felt some semblance of those feelings growing up, because it's hard. It's hard to find your place in society, especially as a kid. Everything, you know, nothing makes sense. Especially in this superhuman society where everyone practically is what Deku wants to be. And they all say that you can't do that. And that's, you know, that's kind of tragic to me. Those are the feelings that I infused, especially at first, for Deku. because he felt like a very real portrait of mental illness and mental health in growing up as a high schooler.
All right, so we have a question with one of our friends back at home wants to know, how's it like to be Green Naruto? How's it like to be Green Naruto?
Facts.
Oh, awesome!
Because when Naruto ended, Boku no Hero came in and basically just
Hi. Hello. So, I was wondering, besides All Might, who would be your favorite pro hero?
Oh, I really dig... Okay, so if you've read the manga, the answer is Fat Gum. If you haven't read the manga, the answer is... Fat Gum. It's, Aizo. Eraser is my favorite.
Oh, we're ready. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm slacking. Anybody over here before I leave? I've got to come over to that area. All right, here, I'm making my way. Talk amongst yourselves. Here you go, sir.
Just one question.
Okay.
Sub or dub?
Me?
Yes.
It's a complicated question, isn't it? I watch the dub for some things, I watch the sub for other things for different reasons, depending on case-by-case basis. I say dub, generally, because I like to support my friends in the industry that has helped me in various ways. But I don't want to say that you must or should listen to one track over the other. My feeling has always been, as an adaptive performer for dubbing in any capacity, if your friend watches the dub, if your best friend watches the dub and you watch the sub, you should still be able to get together and geek out about the same awesome stuff, the same cool lines, and the same really great moments. You shouldn't have, nothing should be lost either way. So I think if that equilibrium exists, then that is the perfect place for subs versus dubs, because there shouldn't be a fight.
Really?
Thank you. Yeah. Woo! Yeah. Watch how you want to watch, because you got to live your best life. Or else, what are you doing?
Hi. Hello. So my question. What character that you have voiced do you relate to the most, and why?
Not to talk your heads off again, Deku, for pretty much what I've said. But I also really, I felt for Mikaela in a big way. I was performing him sort of pretty soon after I'd moved out to finish up schools in Texas, so I felt that sort of same fish out of water, like existing in this world where you don't feel like you belong. That was just a part of its time. But pretty much any character, I try to find some thing about them that I can relate to, some aspect of their character that jives with me, and I get. And the rest, I can take that from there and fill in the blanks. For like characters such as 9 Alpha from Darling in the Franxx, or Finis in Code Realize, I really love playing characters that are like really bad disruptors. They antagonize the main cast. They're not necessarily. I just like that a lot because it's not who I am, but that's a really fun challenge for me, is to be able to put myself in those shoes and be like, well, okay, what if I were this character? What if I did feel this emotion that I have in common with him? Where would that take me? And that's always super fun. I sometimes even have more fun doing characters I don't relate to than the ones that I do.
Hey, so my question is, have you been keeping up, and what are your thoughts on the My Hero Academia Vigilante series?
Oh, I haven't seen the stuff from the Fantasy AU. No, do you like it? Is it cute? It looks really cute. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is, if you were in the My Hero universe, do you think you'd have like a super cool, overpowered quirk, or do you think you'd be like Cactus Head or something?
I think I'd be one of the lame ones. villains.
No, you wouldn't. Lies. That's a lie.
Thank you, but I don't think I'd have a cool power. I always wanted a power. This is what I talked about in like the earliest days. Was I wanted to grow my hair out big into like a big afro, and then if you saw me with that afro, you're under my control.
No hair.
If you could spend the entire day with one character from My Hero Academia, who would it be?
All Might.
All
the coolest.
Wait, he would say All Might. He voices easy.
DC and Marvel Comics, who is your favorite hero and who's your favorite villain?
See, that's a sneaky way of asking two questions. 4 actually. I've always been partial to Batman in the DC universe, so, you know, it'd be hard for me not to say like the Joker or Two-Face or something. I love the Rogues Gallery of Batman. That's what really got me into reading comics in the first place. I also love Teen Titans, but they exist sort of as a unit. For Marvel, I don't know, I really like the X-Men. I love Spider-Man. Yeah, let's go with that. That's a safe answer. Villains. Marvel's villains have never really like popped out at me very much. I thought Thanos was kind of lame in this last movie. What are you gonna do about it, Thanos? What are you gonna do about it? Oh my gosh, contentious, huh? Sorry, I take it back. I like Doc Ock. I like Spider-Man. Oh no, people out here liking Thanos.
Thanos car.
I want to give me the Thanos gun.
Hey, I was actually wondering, I'm semi-new to the series, I'm currently watching it, my friend showed it to me, and one of my questions to him to begin with was, I really like the main character, but he kind of cries a lot, and I was wondering, in light of that, when it comes time to do scenes like that, is there any kind of special preparation that you have for those scenes, or is it just, you just go in and you just wing it, and you know what I mean? For your voice, because I'm sure it's training on your voice.
So to an extent, I always know what's coming in the anime. I always know what to look forward to and what kind of big emotional beats are on their way. So I've prepared in that sense. But otherwise, I just sort of, I let my acting take the wheel when I had to do something really emotional. I trust that what I'm feeling in those moments is accurate, and if it's not, then the director's going to steer me in another direction, and I trust them implicitly. What can really help sometimes is if I record after someone else. We all record alone and in like not necessarily chronological order. So there are times I'm the first person to record an episode, there are times I'm the last person in there. But if I have scenes with someone who has already recorded, then it becomes much, much easier to work off of their voice and delivery to inform what I'm going to say next. Otherwise, you know, you don't always have that luxury, so you just gotta theater of the mind, fill in the blanks yourself, and that's I do it the best that I can.
Okay, when you got casted for Yuri on Ice, were you disappointed to find out that you only got like 5 lines?
Oh, no, I was thrilled. I really loved Yuri on Ice before I even knew I was involved with it, and I just like being part of a story that really needed to be told and meant so much to so many people. So I thought that was lovely. And Emil was awesome. He's so carefree and c'est la vie, laissez-faire when he goes when he's competing, and everyone else, you know, they're all so in their heads and stressed. And Emil just felt like a breath of fresh air. Let's go dancing.
Hi, I was curious, what character do you mostly relate to, and how do you relate to him or her?
I mean, I relate to pretty much every character that I play in some shape or form. That's just part of, you know, I don't feel like I'm doing a great job if I can't find a part to relate to. I relate to Deku a lot. I feel like we felt similar things growing up. I relate to, who else? I don't know. There aren't many characters unless it's like a straight up slice of life where I really am like, oh yeah, that sort of seems like me. So most of the legwork is just saying, okay, what do I have in common with this weirdo alien? Okay, let's go with that, you know?
Hi.
Hi.
What is your favorite Tokyo Ghoul character?
I don't really know the series that well, so I'll go with the main character. Kaneki? Yeah? Yeah, perfect. No one else like that. Everyone's leaving. I'll watch Tokyo Ghoul.
Out of all of the characters that you've played, which one do you least relate to?
Probably Papaco from Pop Team Epic. She's a little trash gremlin who gives me nothing to relate to. She's, doing one thing for 5 seconds and then goes on to the next, and now it's just an exercise of, well, what can we do that's crazy and funny and see if it sticks.
So, I wanted to ask a question about the My Hero One's Justice game. What characters do you think you'll play?
So here's the skinny. I played One's Justice once in, I think it was San Diego, or maybe it was Los Angeles. And I won! I played as Deku. And I won. So I am currently batting 1-0. That means I can never ever play it again.
Yes.
Because if someone beats me, the streak is done forever. And I don't know if I can take that. I don't know if I can live with the burden of not being the best at One's Justice. I would play Deku, or probably Uraraka, or probably definitely Froppy, or also all of them. I love them all! I love those DLC!
Hi.
Hello.
If you could have a pet, what would it be?
If I could have a quirk?
Pet.
Oh, a pet. Oh, that's so sad. I would have a cat, but I'm allergic to cats.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that's so sad. I'll have a fish tank. No, I want a snake. I want a python. I want an anaconda. Oh no. Okay.
Hey man, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Did there. He's thinking about you, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good
question.
Hanging
in there.
All right, guys. 10-minute warning. We're under 10 minutes. So if you've been waiting, here, I'll pass this down.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm over here. So, I know that your favorite villain is Stain now, but if you could pick a villain from Academia to play, who would you want it to be?
Well, I'd say maybe Overhaul, but I think that ship has sailed.
That's my favorite villain.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe someone in the League of Villains. I really like Twice. I really like
Overhaul.
I'll be Toga. Yeah, I'll be Toga.
That's fine.
All right, given your success with given your success with Deku and the popularity with him in My Hero Academia, how would you feel that Kachan / Bakugo would feel like? Would he be coming out for your blood?
You mean, yeah. I'm sure he wouldn't.
I can only imagine what would happen.
It'd be a bloodbath.
So?
Yeah.
My question is, since we live in an age of comic book movies and all, what is one of your personal favorites? Like, what is one you could watch again and again and recommend to anyone?
A comic book movie?
Yeah, anyone your choice.
Recent days? Oh god, it doesn't feel so recent anymore. The Dark Knight. It's like came out like 10 years ago. No, it just came out yesterday. And maybe the Tim Burton Batman, the original one with Jack Nicholson. I can go back to that any day. Yeah, yeah, a Batman for any age.
If Deku could switch quirks with anybody that's already in the show, who would it be and why?
Take Kotsky's quirk. I think he would, well, oh no, it's so hard to say. Because so much of what makes Deku Deku is that he wants to make this borrowed power his own. But yeah, let's take Kachan's quirk away from him and see how he likes it. Yeah, how do you like me now?
Okay, I'm gonna stand. Hi. I just want to say you're really awesome. Also, out of all the shows you've seen, not acted in, is there any characters or any show you would want to be in, like that are already made?
I'd love to be like a named character in One Piece someday.
Yes.
That would be really awesome. Part of me, you know, and this is also, yeah, One Piece would be great. There's also always a bunch of stuff happening in Los Angeles that I really wish I could be a part of, like, what is it, Seven Deadly Sins? It's super cool. JoJo, I'm a huge fan. Yeah, so like, I just kind of want to be I want to be in everything.
Hello. Hi. If Midoriya were to say a motivational, like, something to someone who's feeling down, what would he say?
Okay. No matter what the problem is, I believe in you. And there's a lot of other people who believe in you too. So keep fighting and be a hero. Because I know you can.
Hi, so I was wondering if someone was interested in voice acting, what tips you would probably give them?
Do you have any theater experience or acting experience? It's fine if not.
Yes.
Cool, that's great. That's an excellent starting point. Because I really think that any capacity you have to perform and learn and digest scripts and find character motivations and objectives and wants, that's all the practice that you're doing. That's building the synapses in your mind, it's establishing your vocabulary, and being able to make these sort of long thought out decisions you're making for characters feel more instantaneous and more motivated, and just the more you do it, the better you're going to get at hunting out clues for character objectives or guessing where the narrative is headed. I've become a lot better at guessing what happens in stories now that I've watched a lot of anime and like digested a lot of anime. So yeah, I would say keep that up if you can, if you like it. And then if you want to transition voiceover in any capacity, and please don't feel like you gotta get pigeonholed into anime. There are so many excellent opportunities for even just character work in voiceover. Then it comes down to, making the more life decisions, going to where there's a market for the work, or saving up for equipment to do like freelance work and everything. So I would say at first start, get your feet planted, learn about acting, feel like you're confident at least at the building blocks. And then from there, find out what you like about it. Keep watching more media that has performances that entertain you. Even watch something that you don't like the acting in and say, well, what choice would I have made? I think that's a really cool exercise.
Major markets being Houston and LA. Is there other ones?
Yeah, it's Dallas, Houston, LA, New York, Canada. Toronto, Vancouver. We're in an information age where it's easier than ever to sort of set up a freelance studio, but especially for anime, you got to be near a studio.
Yeah. Would you be able to sing a song in Deku's voice?
What do you want to hear? I don't really know how to sing in a voice that is my own.
Maybe I Want It That Way by the band of Backstreet Boys.
You gotta forgive me. This gets a little difficult because I can't take Deku requests for copyrighted material. That's all I can say about it. I'm sorry. I can sing as myself, and you can imagine it's Deku. It sounds the same. But I can't say, here's Deku singing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Almost to the back, folks. We're down to our last few questions.
Let everyone down.
What Hollywood actor was your favorite Batman?
My favorite Batman? I think,
Adam West.
what's his name? Michael Keaton. I really like him. I thought Christian Bale was totally serviceable, but I liked him as Bruce Wayne a lot more than I liked him as Batman. What am I saying? Kevin Conroy. That's the OG. But yeah, on screen I think Michael Keaton did a great job. Who's Batman now? I don't even want to think about it. It's not Ben Affleck anymore. So me, I'm the next Batman.
Please forgive me if someone asked this before, I'm a little late to this, but what is your thoughts on One Punch Man?
Nice.
That's the last question? It's awesome! I'm not in that! No, One Punch Man is great. It's so much fun to watch, and season 2 is going to be a blast.
You two are the last ones. That's it. Everybody else, you can relax your hands, bang, bang, and then we got to let Justin go on to some other things for today. So,
What's your favorite Shrek movie?
I think it's hard to say that 2 is not objectively superior. It built upon everything that worked in Shrek 1 and lost nothing that didn't work in Shrek the Third, nor Shrek Goes Forth, nor Shrek Haunted in the Swamps,
2 is the best Shrek.
which is second best.
It has a good soundtrack. It has a good...
it's an incredibly detailed answer.
The Valentine's Day Shrek.
What's your favorite part about voicing Deku?
On a creative level, I love that he's someone that allows me to ask myself hard questions and make strong character choices. He interacts with folks who ask a lot of him, and that asks a lot of me. On a more meta level, Izuku and his popularity and the popularity of My Hero Academia is what has really allowed me to do more of this work and get to travel to conventions and meet like-minded folks. So, it's just all around. It's been a really magical experience. So I wouldn't trade it for anything. No part of it.
Creeping forward. Oh, y'all like that's it. You're like, yay, Justin Briner, everybody.
Thank you so much.
If I could have everybody just hang out and not get up and rush the door, because we have one door up here and we want to let him, sort of get out and get on to his ways and his maneuvering. Perfect timing. Yes. Yay, right there. She's the escort. Look at that. It's a parade with 2 people. It's him and that girl. What? Yes, fight you. Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm gonna stay here with the microphone. Yay. I know, don't fight me. I'm sick. You can't beat up a sick guy with glasses. Then who's the jerk? Yeah. But, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Briner. You'll be signing later today, correct? Signings.
I'm going to be back at my booth around 6 o'clock for more autograph signings. There's no tickets or anything. Just come on by and say hi. And aside from that, I'm going to go get something to eat.
All right, so just chill out for 1 second. Oh, yeah. No,
just sorry. Thank you all, and thank you all for your really thoughtful questions. This was a blast. Thank you.
Of course, there'll be another Q&A tomorrow, so check your schedules if you didn't get your question today or you thought up some new ones. Yes. As soon as when he's out that door, you all can just flood it and Tina as Princess Pikachu. Oh, I have 2? Are you together? No, okay. Oh, and Rocket. I get it. Princess Pikachu and Rocker. Rocker Ear. Okay, from Pokemon/Princess Tutu. I see what's going on here. Okay. All right. We're mashing things up. All right. Very nice. practice, a lot of training went into that very nice pirouette. Good job. Excellent, excellent. Watch the stairs. Please no grand jetés onto your grand bouteille. I don't want having that. I don't want these stairs. It's farther down than you think, kids. All right, thank you. And to another group, number 30 and 31. We have Hannah and Parker as Koi Argentum, right? And Shiro. Oh, yeah, okay. From a furry fandom. The fandom of furries. We like furries. And here are some furries. Yeah. Right, up the stairs. We're good. We're good. Stay back. We don't want you to get near the front of the stage. We don't want any kind of furry damage here.